Hey everybody, my name is Mike. I am not for Coltrane. I apologize for the hiccup that we just had in trying to start the stream. If anybody is out there and is connected to the stream that started when it wasn't supposed to, and you want to throw a link on that so people can get over to the actual show where we are, I'd be very grateful because my hands are a little full at the moment. Welcome to Rockin' the Valley's Cyber Speakeasy. My name is Mike. I am not for Coltrane, like I said, and the password today for today's Cyber Speakeasy is no justice, no peace. Cyber Speakeasy is your weekly source for those in the know for music and conversation and cocktails, and that is what we have here today. Let me throw it over to my guests who are here with me. Let me unmute everybody and pull this up so that we can see everything that's going on. Today we have Mr. Dan DeCellis on the keys, and we have Mr. Pentley Holmes. You guys are on camera right now. We are live. What are you fine individuals drinking this evening?
Well, I've got me some Doers.
There you go.
A little bit of scotch and a Centennial if I run out. I figure, might as play it safe.
You have a backup drink.
Of course,
Well, okay. Then you're prepared. That's excellent.
It's professional.
Pentley, what do you have?
I had to unmute myself. I got some clear stuff here. Delicious.
We're not saying what exactly it is, but yes, it's clear and delicious.
It's gonna get me there.
It's gonna get you there, absolutely. I of course have a Capri Sun because I'm always looking for something a little bit different and interesting.
Oh, a Capri Sun, huh?
I mean, yeah, right. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be alcoholic to be a drink that we're doing on the Cyber Speakeasy. I'm always looking for something that's going to be interesting and look a little bit different on camera. So yes,
okay.
This is a thing that I found in the fridge. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what we're going to do on the show for tonight. Nice. So to everybody who's out there who's trying to make their way through this rather intensely difficult world we're living in right now, here's to you. Here's to everyone who is with us, and here's to you, gentlemen. Thank you for being here with me.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to get things started with a piece of music by myself. I should also, again, comment out to if anyone can give me a heads up as to how things are sounding with the video to make sure that things are doing what they are supposed to do. All right, so I'm going to change this over so that it's just on me because I'm going to play a little bit of music to get us started. Obviously, there's been a lot going on. Oh, and I'm going to do that too. There's been a lot going on out in the world. This is when people have been asking me how things are going. I say, well, apart from the world being on fire, that's where we are right now. And with everything going on, some of you may have seen that I was able to be live earlier today on the Facebook page for Arts Quest Steel Stacks, which was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun, but it's been a lot of running around all day today to try to make things do what they need to do. So let me see if things are set up here to do what they need to do. Hey, this sounds like we've got audio. All right. So I'm going to start off with a song of my choosing here, and then we're going to go to Pentley, and then we're going to go to Dan. But I'm going to get things started with a song that I've been thinking about a lot recently. There's been lots of times in our country's history when there's been one kind of reckoning or another, and people are trying to figure out how to relate and what is actually happening. And so I think the great Marvin Gaye was one of the ones who put it really, really well. This is my attempt at one of his very, very nice songs. brother. There's far too many of you dying. We got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Oh, Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. Guns are not the answer, 'cause only love can conquer hate. Yeah, we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. Oh, picket lines and picket signs don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? You tell me what's going on. Mother, everybody thinks we're wrong, but who are they to judge us? And just because our hair is all gone. No, we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today. Oh, picket lines and picket signs don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? You tell me what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You tell me what's going on. I tell you what's going on. Now let's find out what's going on. Come on now, what's going on? There you go, by the great Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Thanks very much who is live online with us. Let me see if we've got any comments going here. We've got, oh, it looks like the stream may have frozen. Well, that's not ideal. Let's see how this looks. So if you could see us live right now, sending a comment would be helpful. My guests are here also sort of staring, saying, hey, what, I thought, Mike, you knew what you were doing with this, so we're going to find out. I've been having a lot of trouble with this evening. Let's see what's actually happening right here. If I'm live online, what that actually looks like. Oh, okay, so that shows that I'm live. It's just the other part of it that is not. So let me see if I can pull this up here and look for, no, I don't want that. I want this thing. Alright, well, looks like I can't actually read any of the comments. So, alright, good. This is helpful. Let's see, how am I going to do that? Ah! Hey, there we are. Now I can actually see some of the comments. And thanks very much to folks who are commenting and saying, hey, I can actually see you. That is helpful information for me to know. I'm going to go ahead and put my earpiece back in so I can hear my guests when I'm talking to them. things have been very interesting. Oh, nope, nope. All right. Okay, so this has already been an interesting evening, so I appreciate everyone sticking with me as I try to figure out how to make all these different pieces fit together. And thank you to Dan and Pentley for being patient as we tried to get all this together. So Pentley, if you're ready, I'm gonna throw to you, because then we can have the two of us actually talking together. And you unmuted yourself. Perfect. You're ahead of me on that. Thank you so much, man.
I gotta keep the space bar held down on mute.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna fix that. Maybe. Okay.
I got you. I guess I have to confirm that that you are unmuting me.
There we are. Okay, so now
Yeah,
now you can hear me and I can hear you, and maybe people out in the world can hear us as well.
I was trying to join the event online, but I could see you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we could see you, so I knew it was still going on. I'm gonna try.
Like... Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if it's my turn to go, I was gonna try a tune I wrote a while ago.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to go ahead and play first, that's absolutely just fine. I'll put that over to you, and then we'll talk a little bit after that.
Yeah, I do want to say that's a great tune for especially what's going on in the world today.
Absolutely.
This one is like anti all that, but I released this song a while ago, and it's about basically like it's a song about ego disguised as having a drinking problem. And I filmed a video for it in downtown Easton, where they're currently got it all blocked off. The name of this song is called "A Good Friend of Mine." I've got this problem. It's hard to admit. I spend too much time drinking, more time talking shh. A good friend of mine, today he said that your song sounds good, but don't let it go to your head. Don't let it go to your head. Let it go to your head. Let it go to your head. 'Cause soon you'll come to find a fork in the road, and you think you know it all. You won't even know which way to go, so look out. Remember what he said, that your song sounds good, but don't let it go to your head. Don't let it go to your head. Don't let it go to your head. Let it go to your head. 'Cause some things you will learn till you're older. And that's when you will find what you need. Run along now and go and chase your dream, but keep your head upon your shoulder, darling. It's a big old world to see. Just look out, 'cause they'll say that you're the best, and I know you very well, my friend. It would only go to your head. It would go to your head. It would go to your head. Go to your head. Don't let it go to your head. that is a 10. Oh, thank you, Dan. Thank you so kindly.
Very nice, man.
Right.
Is that a newer song or an older song?
That's an older song. Did you hear anything I said before I performed? No,
I've been dealing with other things over here, and like my computer is exploding. So yeah, I'm a little distracted. I apologize.
You're good.
You did mention it at the beginning.
It's an older song, but yeah, when you get some time, go onto YouTube and check out the video. I filmed it myself, and it's like I was going through. It's like I feel like I played music for a while, and like I was just really like, I don't know, maybe digging myself or whatever. And the song's kind of like about that, but it's like it's just disguised. It's just about ego tripping, you know.
Yeah. Well, and as performers, that's always something that we're trying to figure out. We're standing up in front of people and doing stuff, and like people are watching us. And how do you balance that? And what's your experience with that? How do you keep your head on straight with all that?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that.
No, you specifically. You, Bentley Holmes.
I think honestly, I don't think anybody ever talks about it. Like I've never heard a musician say, "Oh, I don't have an ego," but we all have them, and like, and I think especially first starting out, after you get like your first couple gigs under your belt, and then like people start reaching out to you to play, and like,
sure.
It's like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, I don't know how I'm just like, I just watch other musicians, and you can see the humble ones, and it's like, all right, I should be kind of like that,
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so that's, and I'm constantly learning, man. Constantly learning.
Absolutely.
Constantly got to check myself.
Absolutely.
You got any input on that, Dan?
Well,
hold on. Let me put that over so that Dan can see. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I suppose in the end, the one thing I was thinking is like I've told my college students, I teach at Moravian, been there for a bunch of years, and I always tell them, I said, somewhere in the back of your head, maybe somewhere right around here, you need like a tiny little man about this tall, or woman, either way, screaming at the top of the lungs that like you're the greatest thing in the world. And it just needs to keep on doing that. You just don't ever let anybody see it.
Right.
When anybody sees that, well, then that's when problems arise. I mean, if you don't get up on stage and have confidence, and know
True.
You're prepared and you're gonna, well, it's going to come across. I mean, we've all seen that happen to people. And so, keeping the ego in check obviously it's a challenging thing, and at times you sort of need to throw it around. You just sort of,
I hear that.
Almost as a defense mechanism in certain situations, But the truth of it is that's how I've always felt. It's like I wouldn't be working as hard as I am, doing as much as I'm doing, and practicing every day and working hard if I didn't feel like I didn't have something to say.
Sure.
I hear that, man. I definitely hear that.
But that's just how it's like and if having something to say is me saying I have an ego, well, I'm not going to deny I have an ego. I mean, I'm going to be 50 this year, and I've been playing.
Dude, I appreciate your honesty, man. Like, I love hearing it. You said earlier, you're like, I've been in the Valley playing 17 years. So that's why I did want to hear you say it, too. Like, oh, what is your perspective on this? Keep going, though, man.
Yeah, well, it's just true, I mean, we've all been around people that have egos. We've all been around people that let that little man out as soon as you meet them. And it's like, all right, well, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to.
Right.
I would never go out of my way to see you play.
I think I was that guy. Like, that song is about that guy. You know what I mean? So keep going, though.
The truth is that I think, I can. There were times in my life where I've had my ass handed to me. I mean, people have shown me that no, you're not all that you think you are, and that thankfully that happened to me many years ago. I remember.
Right.
I remember I was in a jazz band. I was in a big band in college, and Peter Erskine, who's like a famous, great, legendary jazz drummer, came to the school, and we were trying to play this Count Basie tune. Anyway, and I didn't know what a blues scale was. I really didn't know how to play jazz at all. And the teachers, the guys that's directing the band, he's like, "Look, just think Count Basie," and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know I've heard of Count Basie, and he's like, just keep it sparse. So, this is like about 13 people on stage, and the legendary Peter Erskine, and here's the big band director. And he's like, all right, so he counts the tune in, it's like a little G minor blues. And I'm just playing like, I don't know what I'm doing. I sound like an idiot. So he's like, all right. So the director comes over, and now I'm beginning to sweat. I mean, I'm on a big concert hall stage. It's the rehearsal in the afternoon. This legendary drummer is here. And inevitably, I ended up just butchering the hell out of it, and I sounded like an idiot. And the jazz band he actually came over and played a solo, and he's like, that's what you got to do. And I'm like, what makes you think I know how to do this? I've never played, you know. And so there's been many a time, you know, where I've been like, yeah, I'm not all that, and that's okay, because I'm still in the process of learning, you know.
Right.
I'm a lot better now, and I know that, but I don't ever want anybody to know that I know that, because, you know, but at the same time, confidence is a real thing, and a lack of it will kill somebody before it does anything else, you know. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I think
Amen.
You know, I have quite a few friends that I think are great musicians, and they just constantly doubt themselves, and I'm like, don't do that, you know, like, believe in what you do, and just, that's all there really is to it. Just believe that you have something to say, because you wouldn't be sitting behind that guitar, I wouldn't be sitting in front of a piano, you wouldn't, you know, if you didn't have something to say.
That's true, man. That's true.
That's how I feel about it. It's like, you know, you don't have to shove it down people's throats. I mean, if they don't want to listen to you and they don't like you, that's fine. That's okay. You know, so that's how I feel about it. But I like the little man screaming thing. You know, it's like,
yeah, that's cool. I've never heard anyone say that before. I like that.
I don't know where that came from, but I've said it many times to students, and they all seem to understand it. You know, because, I mean, we all know that none of us are getting rich doing this.
Right.
You know,
right.
We're just not. So it's like we do it because we freaking love it, and because of the relationships we make and the friendships we make, and you know, there's a gratification that happens. You know, I mean, the very first time I ever played a song at music, it wasn't the first time, but one of the first times I ever played Music Fest, which is like, I don't know, it's like 13 years ago. It was about 6 o'clock on a Sunday, and I was playing with my trio, and it was like the most beautiful weather, and we played Edelweiss, you know, from The Sound of Music. Edelweiss.
Okay, I don't know that, but
you've probably heard it. Anyway, beautiful ballad. We played it. I used to play it all the time, and I remember looking at the audience, and I saw 2 or 3 people crying when I finished, and I thought, I've made it. That's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I mean, like, you know, that's all I want, you know, is an emotional response. Make somebody feel something. You know, if I can make you cry or make you laugh or make you angry, I don't give a shit. As long as I'm getting an emotional response, it makes me happy, you know. So.
You touch someone on a level like way deeper than music, man. Like that is the ultimate goal. Absolutely,
That's what it's all about, you know. And as an instrumentalist, it's sort of hard because I don't deal with lyrics, you know. I mean,
that is, because people have to really be in touch and feel like with what you're doing, you know, and be able to like, because you're speaking a different language at that point, and it's like,
yeah, it's a job.
Why don't you talk about that, Dan? You know, you have that. That's something that, you know, for Pentley or me, that's like, you know, trying to play with our arm, you know, tied behind our back. Or whatever.
Right.
That's
totally.
a key thing that you know we have. We have words, we have ways we can shade. In fact, you know, we have 2 different instruments, right? Because we're playing a guitar and singing, so we have that. And you have just the one instrument. And also, you know, sometimes you're doing improvised music, or you're doing jazz, or you're doing other things. Or if you're just by yourself, or you're with. How do you do that?
It's a good question. I mean, I suppose in the end, you know, if my intent is in the right place, ideally it comes out through the hands. I mean, I've never been, you know, I mean, I sang a lot. I mean, I'm not a singer by any means, and Carter wants me to sing more in Acoustic Kitty, but I don't really think he knows what he's asking me to do. Dana has me singing a fair amount in her band, and I'm enjoying the experience, and I'm getting better at it, but I've never been a good singer. And I can, you know, I can sing, but I'm not a lead singer, or, you know.
Right.
So it's always been these, you know, it's always been that. And I suppose in the end, you know, I've never written anything. I've written a lot of tunes over the years, and they all, generally, almost every single one comes out of an experience. So in the classical world, in the classical world, they call that programmatic music. You know, like in other words, something is written based upon something. You know, so one of the first trio records I ever made was called My Age of Anxiety, and it was recorded and written all during a period in which my wife and I, and well, many other people in the country, were going through a really difficult financial time. You know, we all, you know, we nearly lost our house, and we had children at the time, and it was a pretty scary time. And so these songs that I wrote, they were cathartic. I mean, this is what I did. I came downstairs and I wrote something every day, and it helped me deal with it. And so I don't really, and most of my titles have sort of titles that might evoke some sort of imagery or thought.
Sure.
But I never really want to tell people what to think. You know, I mean, I think because if you tell people what to think, then they're going to try to think that, and if they don't see it your way, then maybe it doesn't really work for them. I'd rather empower a listener to say, that means this to me, because then it's an invested interest. Now they feel smart, and then they like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So that's how I've always felt about
it. It becomes a dialogue with the audience.
Absolutely.
That you're putting something out there, and you're creating space for them to add their own experience or their own interpretation, and have that. Yeah. So it's not just you. It's not just here's my thing. It becomes a creative process on the audience's part. It sounds like. Absolutely.
You know, I mean, ideally, that's what's happening anytime I perform. I mean, I hope that I'm engaging them, they're in turn engaging me. You know, I mean, we've all stood there and played to a room that wishes we weren't there. I mean, come on. I mean,
no, that's true. It's true.
Been there 1,000 times, you know, and so those nights, you know, those are the nights that you and the bass player and the drummer, or at least whatever, me, you know, we just sort of, we have fun ourselves, you know.
Together, just you guys,
Absolutely. But there are nights where I know I have people and they're listening and like they're really paying attention.
They're in there with you.
And that's like, I mean, I can feel it, you know, like you get that transferring of energy and whatever happens. And so, yeah, I mean, that's all that really matters to me. I mean, that's what it's. I've always been a fan of just trying to get an emotional response, and I suppose in the end that's sort of always been my goal. But with instrumental music, as you said, you know, it's a challenge, and it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But I try, you know.
Right on.
You know, so, you know, that's the best I can say, I guess, about it.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you know what? Actually, something I wanted to ask both of you about is since, you know, that as a performer, being up in front of an audience, having that dynamic between you as a performer and the audience, and how does that relationship work? Because it really is a relationship. It's not just you know, either side is just separate. Now, for these past, what are we at, like 10, 11, 12, what is time anymore? But how long it's been since we've been in a space where we can actually have people in front of us. A lot of us have been figuring out how to do live streams, and I know that Dan, you've been posting some stuff, and Pentley, you've been posting some stuff. And I obviously have been doing live streams.
You've been pretty consistent, man.
I've been trying. I appreciate that. So, Pentley, why don't you go first? What are the things that are different about how the audience interaction works? What do you like about streaming, or what do you hate about streaming in terms of how it changes that dynamic?
I personally don't care for it. I'm just being honest. It's like it's not why I play music. You're playing. It's a different ball game, man. It's like, I find myself, like, when I'm doing a live stream, I'm looking at that little number, seeing how many people are in the room, leaving, and then coming back, and just trying to keep it like, all right, I'm performing for this amount of people. Like, if it goes above that, it's going to drop. Like, it's just, I don't care to do it. But it's like, what else do we have, you know? Yeah. So it's just like, and it's like, I'm not sharing really like any new stuff really right now. So it's like, you're in this place where, you know, if I do like this, I've had 3 live streams this week. I got another one tomorrow, and it's like, I got to really think about my set list so that I'm not like playing the same stuff. So it's just like, and that song I just played, I never performed that live ever. So it's like,
wow, that's very cool. That's awesome.
I wrote it, released it as a single, never performed it. It's just like, because of the topic, it's just like a personal song for me. So
Pentley, there aren't a whole lot of songs that you have that don't have a personal aspect to them.
That's true, man.
But and Dan, how does that? Just everything that we were just talking about is so true in terms of, you know, finding the space and creating the dynamic with the audience. So when you've been doing that online, how's it work for you?
It's been hard. I mean, although the flip side of it hasn't. I mean, I'm a pretty energetic guy. I mean, I never stop. I'm always like either recording improvs, I'm always trying to collaborate, I'm always writing. But when this happened, you know, it had been, as I said earlier, you know, it was like 17 years. Like when I first moved to the Valley, it was about 17 years ago, and I pretty quickly formed a band with Three Monks band years ago, and we were gigging, you know, in a short period of time living here, I was gigging probably 8 or 9 times a month, and that stayed the same for the last 16 years. And all of a sudden, you know, I'm hit with this.
Yeah.
And so I have all this. It's like this train that was just sort of going, and now all of a sudden it's just sort of okay. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it's sort of it's just the truth. The day or two after this began, Kevin Safara, I don't know if you guys know Kevin Safara.
The drummer, Hybrid Studios,
great player, great musician.
Absolutely,
Good friend of mine. He very quickly, like right within literally, it was like 2 days after. He's like, "Hey man, I have a session I want you to play on for Damon." I have it written down here because I thought I was going to forget it. Damon Price.
Okay.
And so he's like, "Hey, can you record remotely?" And I thought, here it is. This is my opportunity to go out and get the few pieces I need to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And so I did. And then I very quickly bought a USB interface, and I moved all my keyboards down to the basement. And I was like, you know what? I just have to keep on doing this. And I now do it. The truth of it is, I suppose, I'm finding that I'm doing music now more for me than I am for other people. But at the same time, I still feel like I'm doing it for people. I mean, I'm about to release. I just finished recording basically like almost a full record, all remotely. I'm doing it some with Sean Cav and Chris Cummings and some other friends of mine, and it's all a trio record. And it's sometimes you feel like you're just playing with yourself. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm tired of that, and especially considering the bands that I play in. I mean, like Dana, when I play with Dana Gaynor, there's a lot of stretching and there's a lot of improvising and a lot, and I miss that like you can't imagine. I mean, that's horribly, that pains me. The flip side of it is that I feel like I'm touching on things that I've never been able to do before. You know, like when I record with Cummings, this is the greatest thing in the world for me. He just sends me the stems of his recording. So, like, I get full stems of a drum part, and I have to sit there.
And you got to create around that, yeah.
I love every minute of it. Like, because I've always been a fan of producers and mixing and engineering, and, like, I'm a huge Brian Eno fan. So, like, I'm sitting here in my basement at 2 a.m, and everyone's asleep, and I'm down here like, let's pan the drums here, let's add some, and I'm loving it because it's another side of...
Right, absolutely, yeah.
That's getting exercised. And so the way I look at it is that this is a time for me to learn and to try to get better at things that I've never had the opportunity or, sort of been forced to do. I mean, so that's where I'm at with it. It's like I haven't really written much new stuff, but I've been improvising like crazy and recording lots of improv. I think I've recorded almost an improvisation and posted it almost every day of this thing.
Oh, wow.
Really?
That's a great discipline too, right?
It's definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel as though, like, because the gist of it is like, my father was a cop, and my father was a hard-working guy, and he when he wasn't being a police officer, he was landscaping, and so like he was always moonlighting, and so my father always taught me that, like, he always looked at me, he's like, I don't know how the hell you're ever going to make a living as a musician, and I don't know what he's like, you're good and you're talented and you should do what you do and follow your dreams. He's like, but I don't know how you're going to do it. And I suppose I've always walked away from him thinking, as long as I work hard, this is my job.
Right.
I have 2 children, and I got to pay my bills, and so I teach, and then I make music, and so that's sort of it, I guess. I mean, that's the best I can answer it. I mean, it's how do I get the difference between identifying with an audience now is obvious.
Right.
I'm not seeing any tears.
No, you're not.
There might be an emoji if you're lucky.
An emoji, yeah, that's where it's at.
I'll take the emoji, but so it is what it is, But I'm trying to stay positive with it all, and just trying to, I'm practicing a lot. I'm working on my skills. I'm playing a lot of Scott Joplin rags.
Nice.
Because that just makes me feel good. So
yeah. Well, you know what, Dan? Let me put things over on you. It's going to flash to Pentley for a moment here, and then I'm going to switch it over to Dan. So now everybody can see Dan there. And Pentley, I'm going to leave you unmuted because I trust you. If you have something useful that you want to jump in on, that's okay. So Dan, if you would be okay with playing something for us, and there are so many things we just talked about, you could go into any one of them. Oh, and I also want to say, since I'm not 100% sure what's happening with the live stream, if it's not going out live, I'll be posting this later. But in the event that it is, there are people who are out there and people who have questions about how do you do this? We're getting kind of into a lot of technical stuff, which I hope kind of pulls back the curtain for people. If you, as a viewer out there, have a question that you'd like Dan or Pentley to address as to what it's like to do all this, please throw that in the comments and we'll pass that along. But in the meantime, Dan, what would you like to play?
Well, it's funny that Pentley said that he played a song that he doesn't normally play out loud or play out live.
Yeah.
And in sort of making this EP and this record I'm doing, I've been discovering all these songs that I wrote that I sort of forgot about. And so and anybody that knows me, when I moved here first, I had this band for a while with Doug Hawk and Ryan Carr called Three Monks, and I wrote a ton of tunes for that band, and mostly just all melodies, and then Doug would actually write the lyrics. So this is a tune I don't think I've never done this solo for sure. This is a tune called The Haunt. It's much more of a rocker than it is sort of like a jazz thing for me, but it's anyway. I'm about to record it and see how it goes, but
right on.
Let's see what happens. I'm going to tilt this a little bit just so you can, people probably.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's see how this thing goes.
Right on, man. That was cool.
That is very cool. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
So, and I'm sorry, I'm juggling too many things here. You said this is going to remain as an instrumental piece?
Yeah. I think so. I'm not really sure where it's going to go. I mean, I wasn't really planning on putting words to it by any means.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to incorporate Dana Gaynor on it. I think there's going to be an outro, and Dana's going to play some solo there. And,
oh, nice.
We'll see. Yeah.
Right on.
It's an old one.
But I also like how it's, I mean, like you say, it's a rocker, but it's not like it's just a straight rock. There's definitely some jazz and some other influences in there.
There's definitely some jazz in there. Yeah.
Right. Cool.
I was hearing some Charlie Brown, man. I thought at any moment you could have went. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with Vince Guaraldi.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan. I love that stuff.
Oh, he does such good stuff. He does such good work.
Nice.
You know what? Let me. I want to make sure. Let me put it back on Pentley for just a minute. So here, I'm gonna Dan is going to show up at the center of things, and Dan is going to put that over on Pentley so the two of us can talk. Because I want to make sure that before we run out of time, I want to make sure we definitely talk about the stream you have going on tomorrow night to give people a chance to know about that, and that they should see you and Dina Hall doing a thing that's supporting local businesses.
Nice. Right on.
So, do you have details you can tell people, Pentley? That's where I'm going with that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering where you were actually going with it. I guess the idea behind the whole thing is I wasn't given a whole lot of details. I just got emails like, "Yo, can you play at this time?" I was like, "All right, yeah, okay." We did a little live stream last week, and but I guess the idea behind it is because Southside Bethlehem is still going to have like outdoor. Everything's open now, I guess, and they're gonna have outdoor dining and all this cool stuff going on. So you go out there, you check out Southside Bethlehem, and then you come online after you're done doing that, and you check out some music. So it's like, but I'm actually streaming from my own page, so it's like, and they're gonna share it onto theirs. So you'd have to tune into my page, and yeah.
So people can follow Southside Arts District.
Yep.
For Southside Arts District, Missy and the folks at Southside Arts District do such good things to try to support the arts community as well as to support all the businesses there in South Bethlehem. And,
right on.
Yeah, I'm so glad they reached out to you, and we should say Dina Hall is the other performer, right?
Yeah, Dina's going to be playing. She's actually going to be starting it off. So yeah, she's like the main event, man.
That
Good
was
old
my
Dina.
question. My own question is so what time are you playing? And what time is Dina playing, if you know?
I think I'm at 8:00, to be honest.
Okay.
So I'm like all over the place, man. I had to pick up a job. I had to pick up a job at Amazon, and I've just been going, man.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely.
I'm trying to see if I can get the time real quick before we run out of time.
It's all good. Okay. Well, people should just go to Pentley Homes Music, search for Pentley Homes Music on the Facebook.
Or the Southside Arts District.
Or the Southside Arts District, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be even better because they're going to share it. They're going to share it there. I'm actually doing from 8 to 9 p.m.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, 8 to 9.
That. Pentley, do you have another song you'd like to do for us?
Yeah, sure. This is a song. I've been writing these songs, thinking about recording them. I actually recorded this one here in my studio when quarantine started. But this is a song like I think it's appropriate for tonight. It's like before I head out on the tour, it's like I get really excited because I'm just like kind of escaping all my problems for a while, and that's what this song is about. It's about just being on the road in my car and just driving. So the name of this song is called Cruise. It's a nice simple tune. I think it's in the key of G. Something's bugging me, I just can't figure it out exactly what it is, but I don't want to stick around here. The road's calling me and all the things I want to see, anywhere I want to go, and I'm burning up the road. And I get in the car, and I feel better with the pedal down, ripping the pavement, guitar case chilling, all the other seats vacant. There's no looking back, only stopping for gas, and all my troubles lay back in the past as I cruise. Get in the car, and I cruise. Get in the car, and it's a hard place when it's time to leave, but there's a long road in front of me. Yeah, it's just a hard place when it's time to leave. There's a long, long, long road ahead of me. That I'll cruise. That I'll cruise. Yeah, it's just a hard place when it's time to leave. There's a long, long, long road in front of me. That I'll cruise. And I'll cruise. I'll cruise.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man.
You guys are the first ones to hear that.
That is
Nice.
awesome. That's
Awesome.
very cool. Here, let me put that up so everyone can see everyone.
That's
Cool,
awesome.
right on. Oh,
Nice
thank
work,
you
man.
guys. Thank you. Yeah.
Very cool. So I think we have just enough time. We can do a little bit more talking, but I think we can get over to Dan again. So let me put this.
Yeah, let's hear another one from Dan.
that, and then I'm going to switch it so Dan is at the center. There's Dan. So one of the things I've been thinking about, of course, you do a lot of improvised music. I'm wondering if you are feeling so inspired that you would be willing to improvise a piece for us this evening. Now, in fairness, we can't actually tell.
Yeah, we can't.
Because there are probably lots of songs that you've done before that we don't necessarily have any idea if you've done them before. But if you'd be up to improvising something for us this evening.
Absolutely. Yeah. These are the songs. They're going away. All right. Improv. You know, it's funny. People that know the improv stuff that I do it's a very different mindset. It's a very different thing. You know.
Sure. Yeah.
Because there's different types of improvising, you know. I mean, I've improvised in a jazz setting for many years, and
Right.
Me and Cummings and Chris Cummings and Sean and a guitar named Rick Del Nero have a group now called the Appropriation Committee that we formed.
Oh, that's awesome. I hadn't heard the band name
Appropriation
yet.
Committee?
Yeah, we're called the Appropriation Committee, and it's literally it's the four of us, just keys, bass, guitar, and drums. And I think we've played hold on, it's not Witchboro anymore, it's Black and Blue.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Anyway, we've played there a few times, and it's literally just like, ready, go, and we just start, you know, and sometimes it falls in a key, sometimes it doesn't. So I've done a lot of atonal improvising, I've done a lot of tonal improvising, and, you know, I teach improvisation out at Moravian, so like out there, it's my job mainly is sort of trying to get classical musicians, you know, to improvise.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. That's gotta be.
yeah, that's got to be, yeah.
It's interesting, and I'll tell you the best analogy that I've ever heard, and I don't know if I came up with this on my own. I think I might have, but I don't really remember. Essentially, it's this. You know, as a musician, we can all agree that music is a language. We were talking about that earlier. You know,
Absolutely.
music is a language.
Absolutely.
And so, as a musician, regardless as to what kind of musician you are, I mean, if you're a folk musician, a rock musician, a jazz musician, a classical musician, you know, ideally you spend your time in your life trying to learn that language. And so my analogy to my students is quite simply this. Why spend all this time learning the language of music if all you're going to do is just read other people's words? In other words, you know, if you follow my gist, like in the classical world, if all you're going to do is play Mozart and Beethoven and Schubert for the rest of your life, doesn't that seem a little bit stifling? You know, I mean, if you took in the time to learn music and learn the language, why not learn to speak on your own?
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
totally.
It's funny. Every now and then I'll say that, and light bulbs sometimes go off.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and this semester was amazing. Even though it was cut short, there was this one pianist in my class that had never improvised. She was petrified, and I got her to do it. And since then, she's been emailing me these beautiful little piano improvisations, and I'm like, how wonderful is it that like during all of this,
Yeah.
you're finding a way to express you.
Well, she's found
Right.
a voice. She's found a
Right,
voice
you
for
know, yeah,
herself.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knew how to read books, but she could never speak the language.
Yep. And so that's a big part of what I do out there, you know, and I love it. I mean, I get complete goosebumps and crazy when I see this happen for the first time, because you see people just sort of like, oh my God, I can do this, And I'm like, well, yeah. And now you can do this the rest of your life, and you can
Right.
meet friends and people, and and there's no judgment, it's not, there's no right or wrong, it's just do it, And so anyway, so I'm happy to improvise. I mean, that's what I do. That's what I feel the most comfortable doing. So
we have just a couple minutes, and I know a lot of your improv pieces are just a couple minutes. So yeah, why don't we'll put it over on you?
I'd be happy to.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, I like how he tilts it down. Yeah. That was beautiful, man. Seriously, that was beautiful.
That was very, very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Dan.
You're going to have to listen back to this so you can hear what you just created right there. That was amazing, dude.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you. I appreciate
Well, I
it.
really hate to cut this short, but we do need to wrap up the live stream because we're just coming up on the Rock in the Valley Piano Pub and the Rock in the Valley Piano Pub. I'll tell people about that just briefly, but first, before I do that, thank you so much, Pentley. Thank you so much, Dan.
My pleasure.
This was
My
a
pleasure.
fascinating conversation. I hope.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. I've never really spoke to you before, Dan. So it's like in the hour, I learned a lot about you. Like every time I've seen you talking to other people. Or like the one time I left Carter's gig, it was just like you were outside. You're like, oh hi, yeah, all right. Like you didn't say anything. I never really heard you talk before. So I just like in the 1 hour, I learned a lot about you, man. It's a pleasure to officially meet you, Dan.
Same here, man.
On.
You need piano in any of those tunes? Let me know, man.
I got you, man. Your email's in the link there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think we're friends on Facebook and all that as well. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Definitely. I got you, man.
I enjoyed it. This was great.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with us. We've got Pentley Holmes. We've got Dan DeCellis, who just played the improvised piece for us. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm going to put it back
and
on
thanks for all you guys tuning in.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks very much to everyone who's been watching.
Stay healthy. Yes.
I'm going to put it back on me for just a moment so that I can say that, yes, thank you all very much for being here. I'm just out of time because right now Steve Jones is starting the brand new, I'm blanking on the name for it. Yes, the piano bar. So go check that out. I think it was a bit of an experiment last week and it went really, really well. It's kind of like a virtual open mic. You can go hang out with Steve Jones. So stay tuned here on the Rock in the Valley page. This live stream is ending, but go over and check that one out. And
See y'all.
Thank you so much for being here with me and for all of you who have been able to join us this evening. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Check out my webcast on Tuesday over on the Not for Coltrane page at 12:30 in the afternoon for Coltrane Tuesdays. And please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you next time.
Awesome.
He just shuts the door on us.